is a hot day today. I have to close the window to record. Let's get this quickly out of the way, shall we? Oh, I always say every video at this point, I feel like it should just be an ongoing joke now. Hi, I'm Step. Some of you may know me from voice acting, some of you may know me from doodling you, and some of you may not know me at all. And today we're talking about Riverside Dickens Festival, specifically 2026. So this has gotta be, I think, the first event that I've done that's not necessarily Well, if that's not a sign. Hello, testing. I hope you still work. You good? Dickens Festival. Okay, so a little context for this event. I met the event coordinators that are part of the committee that host this event at Escondido Renaissance Fair. There are a couple that I was able to draw every season that I was there, and I think about 2024. Very sweet, very kind, and they mentioned to me in person about Dickens Festival. At the time, I was still getting my whole business going. I knew I have the ideas, I knew what I wanted to do, I just wasn't confident in executing it just yet to say that I can do an event outside of Escondido. Now I'm confident in saying if I'm available, I can book an event. As I started getting StepADoodles more refined and everything ready to go, I realized that the event was coming up in February this year when I was planning my events out in early December. At the time, I was doing Temecula Renaissance Fair, and I was getting booked just a bunch of different months and events for 2026. So I realized I should probably see about booking another event that I know about. So I reached out and I signed up, booked it, locked it in for February. That is now the first event kicking off 2026. I had no idea about what to expect here. This is the first event I've done that's not a Renaissance Fair or Renaissance Fair themed per se. This event was somewhat similar. A lot of people in the community I saw that I've met there were also people and familiar faces that I saw at Escondido. There's a bit of a tight connection within the community. So it did feel kind of similar to a Ren Fair, just a little different. So it takes place in Riverside, and from my knowledge, it's about the 33rd or 34th anniversary of this event going. Pretty crazy. The show is older than I am. It's a event that likes to celebrate Charles Dickens and all of his books and titles and characters. And a lot of people dress up in Victorian-esque outfits. And it's cool seeing so many people dress up in their Victorian best. The event takes place on a Saturday and a Sunday. It's once a year to my knowledge. So they really go all out. The hats, the goggles, the everything. I even got to doodle somebody who keeps adding to his hat every year, so it progressively gets bigger and bigger and bigger, which was a little bit of a challenge that I was like kind of eager to tackle. So I saw him from a distance and I said to myself, please come over here, and he did. It was really cool. People know him as the hat guy. Shout out the hat guy. So this year the event was focusing on Oliver Twist. So I went ahead and made an Oliver Twist themed wanted poster. There's a couple titles that I'm familiar with Charles Dickens. I'm not really familiar with all of his story. It is because of the Disney Oliver and Company that I know what Oliver Twist is, and that's probably a bias as to why it's my favorite. So I was kind of happy that that's the book they chose this year. So I got to make a Oliver Twist themed wanted poster just for the event. Now it's going to stay in the store in my inventory, and I get to just have it on sale in case anybody else is interested, because he is a timeless character. Maybe for Christmas I was thinking I could do like a Scrooge wanted poster and think of a silly crime for him. I'm still marinating on that, so I'll probably do it. The same community members and the same committee that handles, and I could be wrong, the Christmas themed event that takes place out here in Southern California as well. I think it's the Yuletime event, and I'll look into that and see if I'm available and if I get in to be able to be a part of that, and then I'll most likely have a Scrooge wanted poster for that too. But that is all the way at the end of the year, and I am barely getting started, so we'll see. So, with all of the context, the show was a little different. Renaissance fairs for me were somewhat of my experience so far. I do very well. I'm very, very booked, very packed. My booth is swarming with people nonstop, and it's very busy, and it's what I'm used to. This event was a little different. I had a sign where my booth usually showcases from a distance, wanted posters like portraits. And I wanted to try something out, so Saturday I had it placed on one side. And then Sunday, I switched it to the other side. Somehow, I was a lot busier Sunday than Saturday, even though the turnout was almost exactly the same. Very busy for the whole park. I was placed somewhat pretty close to the entrance, which I was very grateful for. You enter in, you turn left, you go down that pathway just a bit, and right next to the info booth, you find me right across. So I was very fortunate to be placed pretty close to the front entrance. However, if you don't turn left, you go straight, because there's much more to look at when you enter in. Psychologically, that would make more sense that people would go in forward rather than just turn left. So that means people went and walked the entire pathway all the way around and then found their way going back past my booth. And then because there was no sign facing that direction on Saturday, I think they just weren't aware of what it was. And then it didn't bring them in. Usually my booth faces a direction that gets everybody at every end, and it shows them what it is and brings them in. It's possible. I'm not sure. I was pretty appreciative that I finally got a chance to vlog in the moment, because normally events I do, I am just drawing nonstop and I don't have a chance to even acknowledge anything else but my pen, paper, and the person in front of me. When I started these videos, I wanted to be more present in the moment for the video, but because I'm so busy, I just accepted that that's probably not going to be as common as I would like it to be. For this event, I was actually able to do that. I was able to be more present in the event and vlog and talk to the camera and chat. It was also nice to touch grass because I felt like that was nice to just force myself to sit outside. It's good to take breaks. I can't even say the word. Breaks. It's good to take breaks and to go outside and touch grass and just take a second. I'm not used to doing that, and quite frankly, I need to do that more often. So this was also a way to force me to be outside and to just be. Despite being slow Saturday, I got so many people both Saturday and Sunday that came up to the booth because I made a TikTok announcing I was going to be there. And people are actually saying, oh, I didn't even know this was in the area. I live in this area. I'm going to stop by. And they did. A lot of people came by just for that. Some of them just stayed to enjoy the whole event. A couple people just came straight to the booth, got a doodle, and then just left. I'm not used to the feeling of people coming up to me and saying that. And it was all so positive, and so many people were so nice. Huge thank you to everybody that stopped by the booth, specifically because they either saw me on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. It means so much to me that you made an effort to stop by. And the support that I get online is still so overwhelming and is so sweet, and I love every single comment that people leave supporting it. I can't thank you enough. Alright, key takeaways. In my last videos, I've been talking about how can I get my booth to be as efficient and organized and ready to go in one car as possible while still be able to... It's all, folks. How can I get my car to fit everything and still be able to even fit a helper plus myself driving? I was finally able to achieve a way to get everything in there, not sacrifice anything in the booth, and still maintain room for not only like a helper, but our luggage too. Because I did end up getting a hotel that was pretty close by the event, so I can just be able to go to and from and not have to worry so much about commuting. And it was much easier, and it was very comfortable, and I was able to get some good rest, and I managed to fit everything. So some of the stuff I had to replace. So what I noticed when I first packed my car, the stools that I usually use for people to sit on while I'm drawing them take up a lot of space. So I replaced them with folding chairs that are from IKEA. They're wooden, they're light, pretty easy. They have a backing too, so they're a little more comfortable for people to sit on. Now that I'm not using that and I have somewhat of a mini version of that table, that also leaves a lot of room. Plus, I'm not sitting so high up that the stools are necessary for people to be seen over the table. Now they can just sit on a chair. That made so much of a difference. Another thing I noticed that I mentioned earlier, the psychology of your booth's layout. Now, people just are having a lot to look at. You have to be mindful of the pathway and where they're walking and where they're coming from. Signage is very important. People want to know at first glance what you're doing and make it very easy for them to walk in. It's a friendly welcome and lets them know what's going on. And so that helps them enter the booth. I'm not sure if I want to rank up Saturday and Sunday's difference in foot traffic being because the sign was on a different side of the booth, but it was on a different side, and I got more people walking in because they were able to see from the back what was going on. I don't know. I really don't know. I noticed a lot of people, because the info booth was on the opposite side of me, that maybe that was a little more of their focus when walking from the back. So when I placed the sign behind me, it made it easier for them to also notice the other side. Very important. Placement, being mindful of your pathway, your layout, and where people are walking. That one's a huge impact because normally, I request to, if possible, be near a stage or somewhere near where the kids' games are or something family friendly around me because I'm mindful of my audience. I'm mindful of my demographic. It's all ages, family friendly. So those are usually the things I keep in mind. On the past 2 events that I've done, I've been able to be placed near a stage somewhat. I make it so that way my customers can face the stage behind me and they can have something to watch while I'm drawing them. That way, if they're getting a doodle and there's a show going on, they don't feel like they're missing out because they get to still watch it from where they're sitting. Good thing to keep in mind, walkway, make it easy, signage. I still need to get more StepADoodles signage. My name is and where to find me on social media. A lot of things that I still need to prep. The big one that I'm prepping for is Temecula Renaissance Fair Spring 2026. And literally the weekend before that, I'm going up to Temecula to do a book release party event. I got invited by the In Bloom Bookery and they're going to be hosting an event. I do have some things lined up that I'm going to be announcing soon, so I'm excited to share, but not yet. Thank you so much to everybody. I came by the booth that found me on social media and that just wanted to come say hi or came by just because they saw my post and wanted to get a doodle. It means so much to me, and all your comments and your messages just mean so much. I will be live streaming now more often every week. You can either find me at StepADoodles on Twitch or you can follow me on social media because I intend to have a multi-stream setup so that way when I stream on one platform, it'll stream on the others too, just to make it easier for people to find. Commissions are still open every month at a certain capacity. They close and reopen again once I am back or at least caught up. You can have an option to have your doodle drawn on the live stream, or you can request to not have it drawn on the live stream. I mail it out to you and you're good to go. However, because of tariffs, if you do live outside of the States, I am only going to be able to provide digital copies as of right now. I'm trying to figure things out with that as far as shipping goes, so it might change in the future, but right now that's just how it's working out, and I really appreciate your understanding. Okay, that is enough. Thank you so much again for watching. If you are at Dickens Festival and you got a doodle, feel free to shout out in the comments. I hope to see you guys at the next event. Like I said, it's going to be in Temecula in March, so remember, you are wanted and you are loved, and just take it one step at a time. Bye guys.